Batman has had a very active love life over the years, and some of them have been questionable to say the least. People will point to Catwoman and his whole thing. Then Tom King kind of screwed that up where they were supposed to get married and she left him at the altar. There's also his romance with Talia al Ghul. All these different things have happened over the years, and yeah, some have been interesting, some have been weird, it's nothing. But you won't believe whose daughter Batman is banging right now, right? And it all boils down to one name, Joe Chill. Now, in many iterations of the Batman lore, Joe Chill is the man who killed Thomas and Martha Wayne, right? And apparently they've decided that they're going to start retconning parts of Batman's history and stuff. And now they've put in the fact that apparently Joe Chill has a daughter, which I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with. I mean, if that does not like, Joe Chill and a daughter, not a problem, you're a daughter, okay. But it's the stuff surrounding what they've done with Joe Chill's daughter. I should say the past, what they've retconned in the past with Joe Chill's daughter and everything around that I have a problem with. But there is more in the pestle than just there's more to it than anything at this point. So let's dive into this article here from Screen Rant. You heard right. Batman really is sleeping with the daughter of his parents' murderer. Oh, how weird that would be. Now, I mean, on one hand, Batman is the greatest detective. He should kind of know. He should have figured out who this woman is and the relationship that is something that he should have known. It would be interesting if he didn't know and it was just something like happened, but then it would, you have to deal with how that would be, because it's one thing. I mean, I don't expect Batman to go out and blame her for what her father did, but it is going to be a dynamic that's going to be kind of weird for him to deal with, because it is still the daughter of the man who murdered his parents. So it is kind of an odd concept, but it is what it is. So let's dive into it. Over the years, Batman has enjoyed many romances with different women across the DC universe, from Catwoman to Vicky Vale. Now he's entered what may be his most complicated relationship yet, as the daughter of his parents' killer makes her way into his life. Bruce Wayne's latest love story is the ultimate twist for the Dark Knight, and it's only a matter of time before Batman learns about his new girlfriend's connection to Joe Chill. Like I said, it won't. I won't think, Batman should know, since, he tends to know these kind of things. If he doesn't, it is an interesting twist. But then it's just the kind of stuff that they've been doing. And this is something Tom Taylor has been doing with it and stuff. But, I mean, overall, at first some people say the book isn't bad, but I just don't like the retconnings to the history. I don't dig it. In Tom Taylor and Mikel Janin's ongoing Detective Comics run, Bruce Wayne has begun a relationship with a woman from his past named Scarla Martha Scott. She and her mother were helped by the Wayne family years ago, and she's since formed a bond with Bruce. At the end of the outing at the restaurant, they share a kiss before taking things further at her apartment. As sweet as this moment may appear at a glance, unbeknownst to Bruce, the woman he's chosen to sleep with is the daughter of none other than Joe Chill, the man who killed his parents. So yeah, they're ting, and that. Right now, anyone with a basic understanding of Batman lore should be familiar with Joe Chill, the man who is responsible for the deaths of Martha and Thomas Wayne in most versions of DC continuity. In Detective Comics number 1090, it's revealed that his history with the Wayne family began long before that fated connection in Crime Alley. And this is where I have a problem with it. They went in there and changed things. They changed things to see what happened. They even changed things to without, Thomas Wayne was some philandering prick who was banging nurses and stuff, and and he got one of them pregnant, and all. It's just nonsense. I found no reason to do it, but he did it anyway. During one of Thomas's shifts in the hospital, Chill and his girlfriend Evelyn were brought in for surgery after getting caught in a car accident. Thomas learned that Chill beat Evelyn and he's faced with a decision: save Joe Chill's life or let him die for his girlfriend's sake. Ultimately, Thomas performed the surgery on Joe Chill while Martha arranged for Evelyn and her newborn daughter Scarlett to be transferred away from her abusive boyfriend. The way in separating Chill from his daughter potentially inspired him to kill them later on, tying Scarlett into the tragedy. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. It starts off with Joe Chill and his wife and daughter ending up at the hospital, right? Thomas Wayne finds out that, okay, he's been beating her, but then he ultimately decides to save the man's life. He's a doctor. That's what he's gonna do. No problem with that. But and then you have the whole thing with Martha, then arrange for Evelyn and her newborn daughter Scarlett to be transferred away from her abusive boyfriend. Why are you doing it? You see, the whole thing about it is that there's always kind of been like about two versions of what happened with Batman and the reason that his parents were killed in that alley. One is that it was totally random. They were just passing through Crime Alley for some reason. I don't know why. They're rich and they had no reason to be there, but they were. So they were passing through the alley. Guy came to mug them. You understand me? I think Thomas tried to resist or something. When he reached for Martha's pearls, shot Thomas Wayne, shot Martha, left Bruce there, and he ran off. That's one version of it. The other version is that there was some conspiracy where somebody wanted them dead, and this is what happened with it, as like that. It's like that. If it's worked out to, I mean, in the Batman movie with Michael Keaton, they changes so that Joker killed his parents. Okay, but they've done things over the years to just, like I say, it's always either one of those two. It was a random mugging, it was a conspiracy. But now you've changed it to add this whole thing, this whole concept, and the fact that okay, Joe Chill was abusing his girlfriend, and then Martha arranged for them to get away from him, so he hunted them down later and shot them. Like it just doesn't work with me. Why are you going in there and changing it? Like I say, if Joe Chill have a daughter, Joe Chill have a daughter, you could do a story like that where Joe Chill had a daughter. You understand me? And she never met the Wayne and anything like that. Or she came to work at the Wayne industry because of what her father did, and she wanted to find a way to do some good to make up for that. But when you play out this whole scenario of creating this whole backstory and retconning history, all that, it just is ridiculous. With the passage of time, Scarlett has grown up to work for Wayne Tech as a geneticist, and Bruce is unaware of a relationship to the man who took his parents from him as their romance now blossoms. Moreover, Scarlett has dark secrets beneath her unassuming surface that suggests her father's identity isn't the only issue plaguing a relationship with Bruce. Apparently, there's this serial killer going around, and they kind of suggest it might be Scarlett, but this is another theory that it's actually her mother, because apparently the mother met Bruce and when he was younger and tough after his parents died. She came to the gate there. She had this kind of crazy look in her eyes. So there is that possibility. Right? When Scarlett and Bruce cross paths again, she clues him in on a secret project she's been working on. Sangral, a de-aging serum. This mysterious concoction alters the user's biology to revert their body to a more youthful state, essentially rendering them immortal. When Bruce learns of this serum, he's reluctant to partake in it at first, but his fear of getting older spurs him into accepting it. I mean, that also is really weird. Bruce Wayne is not the type of guy to just put crap in his body. I mean, it's not necessarily like, he didn't get addicted to venom at one point, but I'm just saying, he was the kind of guy who would run tests on everything before he even considered taking it. You understand? He would run tests on everything to do that. If Batman had to take something, he had to know exactly what's in it and everything like that. You trying to tell me he was spurned on by the fact, of growing old, so he decided, you know what? Let me just take this thing and inject this crap into my body without knowing what it is at all. That doesn't sound very Batman-like at all. Sangrel is more sinister than Scarlet lets on. Though the drug imbues Bruce with the blood of teenage boys, and serial killer Asima happens to be targeting that same demographic, hinting at a connection. So yeah, I want to say though, apparently the drug is from the blood of teenage boys. It is really creepy. It's really, really freaking creepy. Honestly, it's really creepy. But like I said, there's a serial killer going around, and they're kind of hinting at the fact that, it might be Scarlet who's actually the serial killer. We don't know, but like I said, there is a theory that is most likely that it is most likely her mother, but that's one aspect of it. Of course, Batman doesn't let his affection for Scarlet dissuade him from digging into Sangrel's true purpose. He initially goes on a date with Scarlet as a means of gathering information about the serum, using his Bruce Wayne persona to his benefit by stealing information from her bedroom when her back is turned. However, even though he's actively investigating Scarlet, Batman's suspicions don't prevent him from developing a genuine bond with her. Batman has never possessed a stellar record when it comes to his taste in women, after all, so his relationship with Scarlet shouldn't be too surprising. Yeah, I mean, they want to talk about Batman's questionable love life with Catwoman and Talia al Ghul. Okay, no problem there in regards to it. Yeah, so we don't know. The death of Bruce Wayne is arguably the most integral part of his law, as it's the inciting incident that propels him down the path of vigilantism. If his parents had been murdered by Joe Chill, then he may not have initiated his training to become Gotham's protector. So yeah, it is weird. There's no other way to put it. It is weird that, Batman is banging the daughter of the man who killed his parents. I personally think that Batman should have known about this beforehand in some way or another. Like I say, if he didn't know, it's an interesting storyline to pursue, a problem in that regard. But let's be perfectly honest here. Going in and retconning Batman's history with Thomas and Martha Wayne and Joe Chill and Scarlet and his and her mother is just bloody ridiculous. There is no reason for it. There is no need for it. You don't have to do it. If Joe Chill has a daughter, okay, fine, no problem with that. Joe Chill has a daughter. Nobody's saying anything against that. But you're acting like you needed to go in there and do this change for what? The same thing you're going to do with Thomas Wayne. When Thomas Wayne was banging some nurse and thing and get pregnant. Why? Why do you need to do that? These are just constantly repeating the same tired stories that never work. That's what it is. They recently came out and said, Batman had Bruce had some secret brother. They've tried that crap before. Now you're doing this. So I don't know how, Batman's parents are gonna feel about him, gallivanting around town with the literal daughter of the man who off them. But just saying, it's really interesting to see that Batman is literally banging the daughter of the man who murdered his parents. Yeah. You didn't see that one coming, did you? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.